and happy 2025. Uta here of Trans Widow Uta Hagen YouTube channel with I don't know if it's going to be a flop or open. This was a daffodil that came up, I guess, at the end of December, which is not the right time. And I dug it up, but I damaged the bulb, and so I'm not quite sure. If if it doesn't do anything, then when spring comes, I will simply put it back in the ground and we can hope. So, Mark Zuckerberg, how about them apples? Mark Zuckerberg decided to give us free speech on Facebook. This is very interesting and meaningful for trans widows because there are two trans widows Facebook groups which you have to apply to be a part of. So they're private groups. But even in that private group, there was a moderator who removed a post or something like this, or made some official Facebook remark about a post which just had to do with telling each other what we've gone through and encouraging each other to be strong and move on and take a deep breath and believe in actual biology. So let's see. I put out a test post under my Uta Hagen Facebook account, and it was simply a text that gave us the good news of this rescinding of the censorship, and also the great, fantastic news that I have found a women's singing group. And this is a long established volunteer women's chorus in my area. And it is just so wonderful. I think there were about 40 of us there, about, 20 altos and 20 sopranos, and in the second soprano and sopranos group. And we went through the leader's choice of show tunes and discussed, our upcoming performances at nursing homes and things like this. And I had been in a girls' chorus in high school called Treble Clef. I wonder if it still exists in Madison at West Senior High School. I don't know. Anyway, what I can happily tell you is that there were no men in lipstick and dresses trying to throw their voices way too high and be in the second sopranos, because of course they wouldn't have wanted to be in the altos. And oh my goodness, most of us are retired and, my age group, but there were some younger ones. There was an assistant teacher from a local kindergarten. It was, you can probably tell, it really energized me. And I probably prefer more classical style music and stuff, but the show tunes are fun. We sang a whole bunch of things from Fiddler on the Roof and Somewhere Over the Rainbow and something called Blue Skies, which is not the blue skies that I'm familiar with. And it was just so nice. The only dude in the room was the pianist, who is a male music teacher, and he was wonderful. He led us in a warm up, and then he did the piano, and so I hope that some of you will be inspired to look for similar. And I'm just going to tell you um, a story from long ago in Brooklyn. It was about 2012, maybe 2013. And I was in, I joined and paid for, it was kind of expensive, uh, singing lessons in the Eastern European folk style, like Bulgarian and Macedonian and things from all the places in the former Yugoslavia, Serbian, that kind of thing, from the folk dance world, where a lot of times they sing and dance at the same time. If you want to know what it sounds like, you could look up a, a song called Sto mi e Milo, which is STO, and then new word MI, and then new word E, and new word Milo. Sto mi e Milo. And there were usually 3 or 4 parts. I think there were about 7 or 8 of us crowded into this woman's studio apartment. And she had grown up with folk dancing parents and had somehow traveled around in Eastern Europe and learned all these wonderful songs. And so I went to a few things. She did some things in Manhattan, and then she advertised and did these things in her home. And the interesting story that I look back on now, kind of differently, is the dude who was apparently thinking that he could use these singing lessons to train his voice to be higher. And over the course of the semester that he was coming and I was coming to this group, he started dressing in more peachy, pinky, purpley colors and pretty just androgynous stuff. He didn't show up in any dresses. His hair got longer. And he started saying he really thought he needed to sing with the female voices. And he messed us up. He kept making us go flat. And I'm thinking, the thing about the voice is a crucial one. And this is not something that the therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists talk about when specifically a man comes and says that he thinks he's actually a woman. So it does affect your voice. And one example of this is Call Me Sam channel from Sam K, who went as Maya, sorry, for 25 years and then detransitioned, got the breast implants taken out, and he had almost lost his voice. And now it's back. And he did an interview with Andrew Gold on his Andrew Gold Heretics YouTube channel, which I have linked in our community pages. And I suggest watching that, especially if you've looked at back when he was posting under Maya K. He took that channel down and decided to do Call Me Sam. His detransition took about 2 years. And of note is that both Debbie Hayton, male, and Katie Went, also male, came on to interview separately on his channel at the time that it was called Maya K. And they were both proposing the concept that we need to stop the shame and stigma of autogynephilia, that is AGP, a man who gets turned on sexually by imagining himself to be a woman, and often it involves also sort of bondage, BDSM kind of humiliation scenarios, which in my mind are replaying some very bad thing from the past, and the subconscious is trying to go back to the past and have a do-over, but they're doing it the wrong way. I also just wanted to point out to you a detail, since it's January, about my curtains, which, of course, in this evening light, you can't see so well, but I got these curtains because I picked this fabric because it reminds me of the icy, cold weather, winter Jack Frost windows. Um, and uh, and I always loved that growing up in Wisconsin and sleeping in the cold Northwest bedroom as I did on a cold morning to pull open the curtains and sort of melt things, melt my words or my name or some message into the frost that had formed on the inside of the window because sometimes at this exact time of year in uh, southwestern Wisconsin, even, or south central Wisconsin, even like Madison, the nighttime temperature, this is not the wind chill, the nighttime temperature would go down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. And that meant the wind chills would be 50 and 60 degrees below zero. And you kind of have to dress like an astronaut. So, those of you who are here in the Northeast complaining about 19 degrees at night and 25 degrees in the day, just like my father advised, put on another pair of socks. Be well, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. Please do comment. It helps so much to do a like and a comment to help with the algorithm. We're almost up to 2,600. 9 more, and we'll have 2,600. And we do have detransitioners and trans widows contacting me recently. I'll let you know their profiles when they give me permission. Be well.